What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Timeless TikTok. My name is Hayden, and I am a beginner watch builder, modder, servicer. I'm self-taught. I'm learning all this stuff as I go. As you can see here, I misplaced the seconds hand, and unfortunately, it did not show me until I put the watch together. So once I got it together and I did my tests and different angles and all that good stuff, unfortunately, the seconds hand decided to pop off then. I'm assuming it was too much pressure. Something happened, or I just didn't put enough pressure down on the hand itself while I was placing it. So we got to take it apart and redo it. This is unfortunate, but it's just the nature of the beast. So now I got to take out all these individual parts. I actually had to cut one of the extra gaskets or one of the extra parts that was in here to make some room for this movement. This case was a little too small for the movement, but I was able to make it work. I gotta take out the stem, crown and stem here, so I can reset my hands. And as you guys have seen in previous videos, the hole in the button, I call it, the release does not, sometimes it takes a little bit to get it. So got that off. Now take the movement out, show you guys kind of what's going on here. I thought I scratched it, and I just wanted to make sure that it could come off, and it wasn't something serious where I needed to completely replace the movement or the dial. I got this cool little movement holder from the DIY Watch Club, which is extremely helpful and beneficial whenever it comes to placing hands, because it holds NH35, 34, and 36 movements. I've not messed with any of the other NH movements, but I assume it'll fit all of them, most of them at least. So this is Rodico here. I like to call it Silly Putty. This is my Silly Putty. It's not the same texture. Silly Putty can leave fibers and all that stuff, but this is just a great tool to have, something nice to use on your hands. It's soft. It's not going to stain the hand. It's not going to scratch it up. Whereas using tweezers, the potential of scratching it up is a little bit higher. So try and set these hands. This DIY Watch Club movement holder has a plastic cover that shows, or it goes around the pinion, the seconds hand pinion. So whenever you get to your seconds hand, you can put that cover on, and you can pretty much just slide the hand into place, and it's awesome. But from time to time, I like to do it by hand without the assistance of the cover. I like to do it by hand without the assistance of the cover, just to keep myself in check. And I'm not going to always be able to use that cover, because it right now is only applicable to the NH34 movements. So got my hand setter here. As you can see, while I'm setting this, I'm bending the seconds hand a little bit. It's not good. I anticipate this kind of, once it gets to where I have it in place, I anticipate it to bump up against the minute hand, and I don't want that to happen, but it's a possibility anytime you're setting hands. Trying to reset it here, straighten it back out. It's not going to be perfect at all because of how it fell off. And as you guys can imagine, not an easy thing to do, setting these hands. It takes me quite a bit, but just learning, getting through it, and just trying to get better. Typically, I'm going to use finger cots or gloves whenever I'm working on a movement that is open, or even touching hands, because your finger oils can mess up the hands pretty easily. So it's not ideal to be touching them while you don't have gloves on or finger cots, just because of that. But I wash my hands, I wipe them off pretty good to where, I don't have a bunch of oils on my fingers. And I was wearing the finger cots previous to before this happened, and kind of dried up my hands a little bit. So I'm not worried about that. Um, Second sand's back on. It's looking good. And there you go. As I said, I anticipated the second sand to kind of move a little bit, be a little bit too bent, and bump up against the minute hand and kind of stop it from moving. So got to fix that. You never want the second hand to be rubbing up against the minute hand, because not only is it scratching the minute hand, but it's also scratching the second hand. So that means I need to correct this and try and straighten it out, get it to where it's not going to be rubbing up against the minute hand, and making sure the second hand doesn't take any damage at the same time. I'm not going to get it perfect because these are such fragile hands, and the second hand especially. So if I try to bend it at all, it's just going to bend straight in half. So luckily we didn't do that kind of damage, or we would need to use a different second hand. But I'm going to try and let you guys see the angle here where you'll see if it's going to rub up against the movement or rub up against the hand. Just trying to check all angles, make sure it's not rubbing against the indices as it's going over, and just making sure it's moving free and clear of everything. Oops. And should be going over here in just a few seconds, and it cleared it. Awesome. That worked. It cleared it. This is it's good to put together now, and I'm going to make sure that I can try and straighten it out a little bit more. I know it was fine, but I'm almost I'm obsessed. I have a little bit of obsession over these little intricate parts, so I just try to make it as perfect as it possibly can be. So I send it to my brother, and he loves it. So looks good to me here. I'm gonna check, make sure I can hit each angle and it doesn't fall off like it just did when I put the case back on. So upside down always makes me nervous, because that's the angle. Whenever it goes upside down, it's gonna pop off or it's gonna fall off. So that's what happened whenever the case was on, and I just didn't check. I didn't do my check like I normally do. So every angle, it looks like it's working well. Time grapher, you can do this on a time grapher, and it will, you normally, a good watchmaker or a good watch servicer is going to angle the watch on the time grapher at 6 different positions, straight in front of your face, upside down, whatever, mostly to get you at angles where you're going to be looking at the watch. Now, some watch servicers only use 4, and those four settings are typically the 4 settings that people are looking at their watch. So the most common one is just going to be that horizontal, straight up and down, looking at the watch right in front of your face. And I try to do that as much as I can, but just for the second hand. I don't put it on my time grapher. Still learning how to read the time grapher, how to make sense of it. So, guys, like I said, I'm a beginner. This is all brand new stuff to me. I have a lot more confidence in watch building now than I did before, of course. I do it a lot. I build watches for people. I'm getting into servicing watches for people. So if you have watches, or if you are somebody that's intrigued by a watch, comment below, send a message to my page. I want to hear from you. I want to see what you guys think about watch stuff and what kind of content that you might be looking for on this page. But this is it's gonna be my watch journal. You guys are gonna follow along with me through my successes and through my failures, and experience and kind of see me grow and watch me fail and watch me succeed. So now back to the watch here. I'm taking the stem off so I can place the movement back into the case. I got to make sure the date indicator is in the right place. Cleaning out the off the crystal here a little bit. There's got some dust in there. I forgot to cover it up, and that's my mistake. So gotta clean it off here. Just take a second. These dust blowers are a wonder. They make everything so much easier when you're cleaning your surface, when you're cleaning the movement. You want to always make sure you run your dust blower over it just to make sure it's completely clean and clear of debris, because the smallest little fiber, the smallest little piece of dust can change your watch. It can ruin your watch. So